Hi everyone, welcome to another Sunday Smiles. My name is Ibtihal Badawi. I'm an artist and my art is expressionistic where I use my emotion and words to guide me. Each painting is a new journey to learn about myself and about the world. In my artwork, I love building communities with building stronger community with different people to bring people together. So that's why I create Sunday Smiles. And today we have a special guest, Dr. Selma. Hi.
Without the doctor, it's only myself.
Okay. Can you introduce yourself and tell us more about you?
Yes, sure. Hi, everyone. Actually, I'm glad that I joined today because Ibtihal had been asking me for a very long time, and I keep postponing it. It's due to my extreme level of busyness the last year. So I'm very sorry, Ibtihal.
No, it's okay.
But here I am joining. So I am really happy to joining you today. Actually, Ibtihal bombarded me with a new topic, which is not very much my area, although my area is psychotherapy, but I'm not very much into art. Yet, I am fond of art in general. I'm a person who loves museum. You can see the pieces behind me. I love those paints and pictures or drawings. So in general, part of my passion as a character is art by itself. So do you want me to start for today?
Yes.
Okay, sure. So one of the main things I was thinking about when we as a therapist talk about art, one of the main things that why do we use art? Most of the people feel overwhelmed or pressured by the hectic world. And sometimes a therapy helps, but not all the people really like to express. So many times, if you ask me, I won't be really in the mood to express myself or my feelings. We are already overwhelmed with so many things. So the art been creating a chance for us to slow down, to explore. And usually, when we start to explore our issues, we start to realize that we have so many layers of emotions that we're not really aware of. And there are so many studies that tells us that art therapy not only improves the mental health in general, but as well creativity. So if I asked you what is the color that is that reflects creativity, what are you gonna think about?
Orange.
Orange for you. Okay, Melissa.
You're muted.
There we go. For me, it's blue. Sky blue.
Blue. It's true. Ethan.
Gray.
Very nice. Marwa. Or Marwa is on mute.
Sorry, it's not Marwa, it's Bushra Al-Harraq. Marwa's mom. My color is blue. The beach, the ocean, the sky. Thank you.
It's true. Most probably all of the studies that tells us when you look at something green or blue, that increases the creativity in you. How is that? How is that possible? Till now, people really don't know. But even though they would tell you that when we're not feeling very creative, you can just open the window, look at the sky, look at anything blue. Or you can get a plant, even artificial plant can really help you to boost your creativity during the day or even after a while. And there are so many studies that are interesting that even in offices, the people produce more when it's greenery around them, unlike the people who are, let's say they are in cubicle areas without any plants or windows to be exposed for. One of the things that I feel that I love personally art for is in general some, or let's say, I'm not going to use the general word, but some people are unable to express their pain or their anxiety through words. Who feels that it's very hard for them to express their emotions in words?
Sometimes I feel it's hard to explain, like the name of the emotion. Like I know maybe sometimes I'm sad, but it's not sadness. It's a different emotion that I don't have the right word to express it.
Mm, mm.
Sometimes
What about
too.
you, Vanessa?
Sometimes I think it's because it's also a blend of emotions, and so there isn't one word that captures all those things together. And when you say them in a line, one after the other, it's not the same as putting them all together inside you. It's just one you. It's not a list.
Mm, mm. Ithar? Or not Marwa, the month
Bushra.
before. One of the main things that us as a human being, so many people tend to suppress their emotions. And one of the main theories that we use in psychotherapy, that some people are okay with expressing, but other people, they're not, especially when you are, or you went through a childhood trauma, or let's say a horrible grief, or divorce, or or any traumatic experience that you went through. There are certain time that you will stop expressing it. Till now, people are not really sure why do we stop expressing, but some people feel like they had enough. They want to numb their feelings. So what happens usually, there is a theory called boomerang of emotions. You know, when there is this clip, when you take a picture of it and you boomerang, and then as if you're jumping, but you're not jumping, going back and forth. This is what happens with our emotions. It backfires again at us. One of the best things that people discovered in art therapy, that you are opening up to your emotions, but you're doing it in a very gradual way that helps you not to suppress the emotions. And that's why so many kids, when we ask them, let's say, like, how are you feeling? They don't really have all of the vocabulary to express, but when you give them a clay, or when you give them colors, you can see that on a piece of paper. They can draw a sad face or a broken heart. Then it is a way of letting go of those emotions, expressing themselves without having to use all of those words. So I would, because most Ibtihal is an artist. I think Melissa, you have the same flavor as well. Well, let's reflect it back to you. How do you feel when you express your emotions through art?
So I feel relief. You just reminded me. I used to teach in teach kindergarten class, and one time I told them to draw what God give them as a gift. So one kid, he drew a sad face. So I told him, "What's wrong? Are you okay?" He said, "Yes, God give me a sad face." I told him, "Yes, but he give you also a happy face. Are you okay?" And then he started hugging me and told me, "My mom is sad because I didn't listen to her and she's upset of me and I'm so worried." And he started crying. And then I told him, "It's okay. Don't be sad. Your mom, she was just upset, but I'm sure now she's not upset of you and she always love you." So, and it's really shocked me, like how, and this boy, he doesn't talk about his emotion. He doesn't show expression, like emotional expression in his face at all. Like he's always like this all the time. So, and then he just, from that drawing, he broke down. Like he told me everything, and it really shocked me, like how he could express himself through the art.
What about you, Melissa?
For me, there's something about putting it out where you can see it. Because if it's inside of you, you can only feel it, you can wallow in it. But when you put it on a piece of paper or a canvas or whatever your medium happens to be, you have separated it from yourself, and it allows a little bit of relief. And it also allows you to look at it from a distance, which is really hard to do when you're holding everything inside.
True. So basically, the expression itself helps us to release the tension and to release the stress. And it's not denying the emotion. You're telling yourself, yes, it is there. It is painful, but it's okay at the end.
Exactly.
I think we have a new member.
We have couple.
Okay. So basically, I think one of the main things is, how can I use art? Because so many people use art in a different way. Some people can use clay, some people use colors, some people use finger paints. It depends on your flavor. And usually one of the things that we want to use is what makes me feel better at the end. So the more you use your emotions, you are more intertwined with it. The thing is, so many people choose different things, and then at the end, they realize what the things are making them more comfortable with their emotions. So there's no specific type of intervention that you can do, but in general, there are certain expectations that you want to feel at the end. So if you're feeling that when you're trying to express yourself or drawing or elaborating on your feelings, that you're feeling relieved, so basically you are on the right track. Especially in the trauma, for so many kids, when they ask them to draw, we can see that the images itself or the drawing itself are very painful. Or for suicidal clients, that they would draw a very sad images. But we ask them at the end, how can we correct this image? How can you use this image in a different way? How can you change the colors of the image? So what if we change this image? What can we add on it? And there's so many gratefulness and gratitude on those images, because we ask them, let's say that there's a jar that for gratefulness that you can add in. And usually people enjoy those feelings because there's so many attention to details, or you can start to realize if you're a perfectionist or not, or I don't want to make mistakes, I want to fix this mistake. And all of the behaviors that we keep doing helps us on the long run, that we are making it right at the end. And I guess most of the time why people avoid therapy or come to therapy, it depends on their emotional well-being. So the more I'm open to the experience, I will be really daring myself to go there. And art in general is a way of daring at the end. Because so many people might look at this paint and say that, oh, it doesn't really link or make sense. But for other people, it would really fascinate them. And it's a matter of taste and mood as well. Like when I go all of the art museums, so many times I'm looking at this like, why are they gonna sell it in millions? But for some people, this is like a piece of art. It's not even for sale. It's not, no one should own it from the way that it is. So it really depends on your style and your mood and your feelings, and how can I let go at the end. And another perspective as well, that we ask so many people to express their emotions through a drawing or writing, and then letting go of those papers, because you feel I am releasing all of those feelings. Because in general, we keep suppressing those thoughts inside of our mind, and our mind keep ruminating about it and ruminating. So one of the best things that to put it out, to let it out, and when you are projecting it, so many tension that we are pressuring our mind becomes less. Because as you said, Melissa, you're starting to see it, and at the same time, this pressure is reduced, and our thoughts are become slower in terms of having those bombarded ideas around of our heads. What do you think?
So true. Yes, I'm talking. I talked to Melissa about this book I'm reading. It's called The Artist Way, and it's an amazing book. And it talk about morning journaling. As you said, when you write it down, it goes. So in the book, it recommends that you do morning journaling when you wake up in the morning, and you have all this things inside of your head, things you need to do, like a lot of emotion. So you just write them down in the piece of paper and you get in the day with the empty head. So I've been doing this for now 103 days, and it really helped me.
103? Wow.
I'm counting them because it really changed my mind, and I just want to see how the day I started and the day I am here now, how much it changed me. And it really does. It, as you said, when you just write them down, these emotions, it release you from all, like you, all of us have negative thoughts. It come to us, and sometimes we can't express it. For me, even sometimes I can't express it with colors, but when I write them in details, how I feel in paper, it let me release it.
It helps.
Yes, it does. It truly does. 103 days.
I think for me, it's 103 days is really a lot. It's very interesting, mashallah, that I have all of this patience to do it. But one of the other things that we can think about as well when it comes to art is it improves the communication skills. In general, most of us, we're not very good at communicating, have very busy days, our emotions are all over. So many people turn to drugs or alcohol just to escape. Art usually foster the expression of self. So one of the things that it helps to develop the communication skills. So there is this ability to reach out for others, and it addresses the issue. Because in general, we tend to be avoidant character as a human being, especially when it comes to pain. Sorry, my daughter is at
Cute.
But after this, I'm not gonna yell or shout or scream. After all of this busy day today, let her be. So the good thing about art that addresses the problem, because in general we don't like to address our issues. We run away and we suffer just to block out those painful memories or emotions. Art helps us slowly to express and to begin feeling. Because the best thing to do to yourself is to start to feel. And the more you start to feel, you are doing yourself a good favor because you are taking a step to move forward in life. One of the interesting things that it also builds confidence and self-esteem, because it shows people that they have more different skills in their lives, or they have healthy habits. And that will help us to raise awareness to yourself. Therefore, I'm more aware, I'm more expressive, I'm more communicating. And therefore, we are building the self-esteem and self-worth in indirect way. That's why kids, when you see them drawing, we are boosting their confidence. Not in a directive way. You're not putting them in a workshop and telling them do this and that, but you are in a way tackling it. So therefore, we are reaching to a good results with them. The last point I want to add, there is a documentary, I'm not sure if you saw it, which was in 2009, called I Remember Better When I Paint. Did anyone see it?
No, I didn't. I need to see it.
Very, very interesting documentary. It talks about creative therapies with the people who have Alzheimer's disease and how they can approach the change by drawing. So when they draw, they start to feel different feelings and they start to express in a different way. Therefore, it really helped them through the terminally ill issues. Okay?
So I want to ask you, sometimes people, they don't want to paint, they don't want to draw because they judge themselves. You know, this is not good enough. I don't know how to do this. I am not an artist. It's what you can tell them, like, how can they?
I usually think about this in a bit different perspective, because usually people tend to be perfectionists when they draw. When I used to draw, when I look at my painting, I believe that they're horrible. But sometimes people might tell you that this is really interesting. So it really helps to think about things in different perspectives, because at the end of the day, we art is an art. It's not like a task that you have to do at the end of the day. It's more of you expressing yourself. I know that there's so many studies that if you want to be an artist, there is certain rules or guidelines, but in general, when it comes to therapy or healing, no one is judging you, and you're not supposed to judge yourself. That's one of the main goals that we want you to reach, because we are usually very critique for ourselves. So letting go of this inner critique and enjoying what you're doing is the ultimate goal. So you enjoy the feeling, and at the same time you express yourself, and reducing this extreme judgment with more self-kindness. So it's supposed to be reducing perfectionism, not increasing the stress of perfectionism. Therefore, you can accept mistakes and at the same time embrace this imperfectionism that you have and enjoy being human.
So it helps.
Not to cut you off. I talked about this maybe a week ago. There's so many artists, after they passed away, they realized that all of their art pieces were when it was sold, it was very expensive. But they did not believe within themselves that it's going to be worth it this much, unfortunately. And this is the irony of things, that when you really believe in yourself, so many things start to change.
So true. So true. So, so when you talk to yourself kindly during the process of doing the art of healing, so it helps to reduce your perfectionism, and it helps you to release that tension. That's so good. And it's a very great point what you made about the artists who commit suicide, and their art is sold now by millions because they didn't believe in themselves. When they did the art, they didn't believe in themselves. They believed that it's worthless, and they didn't believe. That's why their art wasn't appreciated that time when they did it. But when they died, it just, everyone realized how.
Exactly.
So guys, do you have any question? Melissa always have a great questions.
you answered, excuse me. Well, you asked my question today, because one of the things I was wondering, and this is something when we're doing our art nights just for enjoyment, because one of the things that I'm very much into is art as a journey rather than a destination. Your goal is never to create that masterpiece. Your goal is to just play along the way. So when you have someone who is resistant or doesn't think that they can do it, or doesn't feel that art is their thing, but usually that's a reflection of thinking they can't produce something by the end, a specific something. Is there anything particular you do to encourage people to try it anyways?
Sorry, Melissa, half of the question went off due to my connection. So can you just repeat the other half?
Sure. Yeah, I was wondering if there's anything that you specifically do when you have that person who is resistant to art because they have the idea that they want to produce something, a specific thing at the end. Is there anything particular that you have found successful at encouraging them to do it anyways? Uh-oh, are we losing her? No.
I don't know. She's on pause. I'm sure she will come back.
Yeah, I think her signal just dropped because she froze right before. There she is. She's back.
Okay, I am back. That's good. So if you want to repeat it for the third time.
Third time's a charm. I was just wondering if when you're working with art therapy, if you have that person who's resistant because they are not creating a masterpiece by the end of it, is there anything particular that you suggest to help encourage them to do it anyways?
Usually people are very hesitant to do any art. Is like, why am I supposed to do that? Why this part of drawing will gonna heal me? In general, people are very much doubtful to therapy in general, and now you're gonna give me a paper and a pen and a couple of colors, and I'm supposed to do all of that. So it's already doubtful idea. So it is very challenging. But one of the main things that we really focus on is how can we beat those ideas? How can we reduce the self-criticism? And how can we increase self-kindness to ourselves and to accept ourselves, even our limitations as well, by drawing and by seeing the colors? Because some drawings are really ugly, and it's okay. So that's one of the main ideas, that it's okay even to draw something not very pretty. And how can you so the more we encourage people to do that, and people in general tend to love when you analyze their drawing. So what do I mean by analyzing? I mean like sitting with their emotions, understanding their feelings behind their emotions. So the more you sit with your emotions, the more you understand, why am I doing that? Is this really reflected to my perfectionism or not? Why are those symmetrics there? Why are those only rigid colors that you've been using? Why gray? Why not red? Why this heart is broken, and why this face, let's say, is frown? All of those ideas give different reflection, because people in general, they don't want us to be very much directive. We enjoy being, let's say, unseen or unheard for a while, because sometimes it is painful to go back to those memories. Because so many kids, when I draw for them, like two separate houses, and how do you feel about this? Especially when it's in a time of divorce, kids get very confused, like, why are you drawing this? But they know deep inside, why am I drawing this? And they know maybe deep inside why they're here. But it's part of, just don't open this book, this box of Pandora, and there's so many pain behind. But gradually, after a while, those things gets better. And for us as well in therapy, we're not really exposing them like in a very much harsh way, but in a gradual way. And there's so much engagement. The more you engage the client, the less there's criticism, and there's more empathy toward themselves. I hope, Melissa, I answered. I feel I took you with a loop.
Yeah. Oh, it is a loop. It's a really big loop, and it's you have to find the right place in that loop to get people into it. So it did help. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Anyone have any more questions?
I have a question, but this isn't specifically related to art therapy. In general, if somebody wants to find like counseling online, and I'm thinking about my cousin specifically because she was looking for, because she's Muslim, she was looking for a Muslim counselor to understand some of the situations with her family. So do you know where one can find somebody who does this in an online format due to COVID?
Yeah, sure. I can send you the list of names. Absolutely.
Okay,
Yes.
that would be really helpful.
Sure. Yes, absolutely. I know sometimes it can be very hard, especially with COVID, and everyone's really in a semi-lockdown. So online now made things very much easier and accessible. I can send you. You can send me on Instagram, DM me,
Okay.
and I will give you all the names. Absolutely, don't worry.
Thank you.
So thank you so much, Selma, for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Bye, Sadiq. So still, I want you to stay with us. I'm gonna do the art part. It's just 5 minutes. It won't take long. But guys, I want you to get some papers, pencils. Do you have, Selma?
I have a session after 5 minutes. So I'm the one who's gonna leave, unfortunately. because ابتعال أنا عندي session فلازم أبدأه. Okay, so I will have to leave because I have an online session with a client. So thank you all. I really enjoyed having this talk. Take care.
Bye.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So guys, I want to start with the art part. Get a piece of paper and pencil. And before we start, let's take a couple of deep breaths to be here and now. So let's inhale, count to 4. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale again. Let's do it 3rd time. Inhale and then hold it and exhale. And I want you to say, I am here and now. So we be present. So I want you to fold the paper into two halves. One half of the paper will draw what your life was supposed to be like. And the other half, it will be your life now. How is your life now? So this is expectation versus reality. So let's do this. I'm gonna ask you questions during the process. Fold the paper into two halves. And if you don't want to draw, you can write. Are you able to accept your life as it is right now? Remember that acceptance doesn't mean giving up. It means you accept what is happening now, but you can still work toward goals and healthy changes. What are the positive in your life now? What are you grateful for? What are your expectations for the future? So think of these questions during your drawing. Sometimes we have a vision in our head and we want it to come true as it is, but sometimes this doesn't work. So we need to accept that, don't give up, and try to make the best of it. You can share your drawing with me in our account on Instagram, sunday.smile25 at Instagram. So I can share it. And this is what I have. Our meeting is almost at the end. I don't know if you can see it. House, and it have a Zoom laptop. Oh, I love it. That's nice. And the other half is my expectation. I supposed to have an art show, but I didn't. So I'm making the best of it by Zoom meetings. So thank you guys for joining us in another Sunday Smile. Join us next week for another beautiful Sunday Smile. I hope you have a nice day. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Assalamu alaikum.